Hello, today I'm doing my social justice presentation on civil rights activist Sylvia Rivera. She was one of the largest LGBT activists in our history. She did a lot in regards to the basic human rights of gay and transgender people. In the time she was alive, she accomplished incredible things, which I will talk about. We would not be where we are today without her. Sylvia Rivera was born in 1951 in New York. She was assigned male at birth, but knew at an early age she was trans. The name she was assigned at birth was Ray, but changed it to Sylvia. Her father was absent in her life, and her mother committed suicide when she was only 3 years old. She grew up living with her grandmother. At an early age, Rivera was interested in makeup and feminine clothing. Because of this, kids at her school bullied her, and even her own grandmother physically abused her because of this. The trauma she endured made it to where she wanted to fight for the rights of transgenders. Sylvia started protesting in her early teenage years. She never backed down or lost faith in her cause. She met Marsha P. Johnson 6 years prior to the Stonewall Inn Rebellion. They became very close, and Rivera thought of Johnson like a mother figure. The Stonewall Inn Rebellion was seen as a launching of the postmodern gay liberation movement. The rebellion started on June 28, 1969, and Rivera was there for every second of it. Sylvia led several protests against the raid as well. The police tried arresting her many times, but she always resisted and never let them take her. In an interview, Rivera said that she didn't throw the first Molotov at police, but she definitely threw the second. The protest lasted for 6 days, and she never slept. She refused to miss a single second of that revolutionary protest. And a few years later, in 1973, Sylvia tried participating in a gay pride parade. She was not allowed to speak, though, because at this time, gay people did not consider transgenders valid. It took a long time to get gay people to accept transgender people into their community. In later years, Rivera fought very hard against the exclusion of trans people from the Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act in New York. A bill was passed in 2002 that prevents discrimination on the basis of actual or perceived sexual orientation in employment, housing, public accommodations, education, credit, and the exercise of civil rights. In 1971, she started the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries known as STAR. STAR was a gay, gender nonconforming, and transvestite street activist organization. They had a house that was a parked trailer truck. It was a shelter for trans sex workers and other LGBT street youth. Into her adulthood, she struggled a lot with homelessness along with substance abuse. Things had gotten so bad that Rivera had tried to commit suicide. Johnson took her to the hospital in hopes that she could be treated and hopefully get better. Soon after, Rivera left New York and activism as a whole because of Marsha P. Johnson's death. About 2 years later, in 1994, she had been given a place of honor for the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Inn Rebellion. After Marsha P. Johnson's death, Rivera became homeless once again because of this and lived on the pier where she had died because she was so distraught. Rivera moved into the transy house to avoid homelessness not long after. This was one of the best things that she could have ever done. The transy house was based off the Star House. It was ran by all transgender women. When Rivera started living there, she stopped abusing drugs and got a lot more healthy. While living in the transy house, she met a lot of wonderful women, especially a woman named Julia Murray. They got along very well. Whenever Murray was struggling mentally, she always went to Rivera for help. Their friendship started because Murray also did not like sleeping alone. She started sleeping on the rug in the living room where Rivera was staying. Not much time later, Sylvia offered to let Murray sleep in her bed with her. In 1999, they became lovers. The transy house community gave Rivera an incredible space where she could be herself and thrive peacefully. Rivera went on to say that she wasn't a lesbian for being with Murray. She was tired of being labeled by other people. She just wanted to be herself, and that's it. She didn't even like being called transgender. She was turning 50 and did not need labels on her identity. While Rivera and Murray together, they started the Star again. They were also together for the rest of Rivera's life on this earth that treated her so poorly. Sylvia died in 2002 due to liver cancer. She did not die alone. Her best friend and girlfriend, Julia, was there by her side as she passed away. Although she had many hardships in her life, she never stopped being true to herself and what she believed in. Equality for the LGBT community has come so far over the years. Although things still need to be done, we have come so far to ever stop moving forward. Without people like Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, our society would be so different and we wouldn't have the rights we do today. They're an inspiration to hundreds of thousands of people in our society.